Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
Buddy, if you'd like to go now, we can go now.
Are we going now?
We can go.
Okay.
Don't forget your tag last week. Never believe.
Never believe. This is what a difference this makes.
You know what? The show has been awful until this point.
This-
and now,
we finally
with Elise on the
arrived.
team, it's a good show.
We arrived.
Before Elise, it was not a good show. But now,
Oh my God. On the 109th episode, we finally hit our stride.
finally hit our stride.
Oh my gosh. I love having
Wonderful.
Elise's help to say, hey, last time you had a tag,
And it was pretty great.
and it was great, and you need to include it on the show. And we would have gotten there normally and
we would
been
have gone,
completely,
well, I guess it's not going to stick this time.
as all of
Which
our...
is normally not because it wasn't a good tag, but because you and I can't remember anything anymore.
No. And it's just that, which I'm sure the people who've been listening for 2 years now
Yep.
have gone, all you have to do is listen to the last 1 minute of the previous episode. That's all you have to do. And we're like, nah, can't be bothered.
That's too hard.
It's too much work.
It's too difficult.
Couldn't possibly
Yeah.
do such a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, or you have Elise join the team.
That's right. Yeah.
But other people can't do that anymore because she's on our team. We're not giving her up ever.
We're not giving her up.
Ever.
Never going to give you up. Hey,
What we did not do
What?
in classic us fashion is we still haven't got her a microphone though. So now
Right.
she can't pitch in and we can't ask
I know.
her to say what did you just say and have the audience hear it.
I blame myself. You could hear her slightly last week. You
Yeah.
could hear her slightly. Like in a cavern 18 miles
In
away.
a cavern 18 miles away.
It was very far
That's
away.
how we like. That's how we
it was-
like.
it was
That's
like-
what we call teamwork here in
it
the
would be
Biofriendly podcast. Welcome to the team. You're in a cavern 18 miles away.
We would be like, you heard of the ozone layer, Elise? And she'd be like, it's like those Peanuts cartoons. Yeah.
Exactly.
But we again are live on Clubhouse.
We are. We can't share it yet because
Yeah.
we found out today that we have to make a room 3 times.
Yes.
Which we don't know if we've successfully done a room 3 times. Do we know
No.
if we've done it 3?
No, this would be time 2.
Did Elise start both rooms? Like, what are the rules
don't-
to have a room happen 3 times?
Clubhouse is
We
literally
don't
complete
know.
chaos. It is anarchy in this
anarchy.
in this app.
Yes.
There's no control.
And that's why it's beta.
Yeah, beta.
And that's why the live version of Biofriendly Podcast remains in beta. But at some point,
We're gonna become alphas.
we're going to have a clubhouse room that we know is a clubhouse room.
Yes.
We'll be able to tell you how to find us as opposed to just us being like, hey, we're on Clubhouse.
Well-
and you're like, where?
How do I find you? That's very true. I know. So for those, I did put on the painless screen yesterday, hey, we're going live on both Tuesday and Wednesday. So today I wasn't able to link it there, but maybe by tomorrow I'll be able to link it there.
I believe in you, Jacob.
Okay. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Never believe.
No. Aha! There it is.
We go full circle. Well, we today on the Biofriendly podcast, we are going to our topic on Clubhouse, and we were hoping that this riveting topic would cause people to go, I'm going to stop what I'm doing immediately.
And then we gave up and put up the stupid title. It's because we didn't.
We just went for Suez Canal.
Suez Canal.
Yep.
Suez Canal. Well, and then we were originally, Jacob was saying, globalization of the economy.
Right.
And I was like, that sounds like something a guy with a stuffy suit would say when he's trying to do business.
And it's funny that you made that joke because that's what I was thinking before we started recording. I was like, there's so much jargon in this conversation that's annoying.
Annoying.
Corporate jargon, like supply chain. Ugh, that word drives me nuts. Yeah. There's all these terms, globalization, deglobalization, supply chains. You're just like...
Do you know what's a sexy word right now that's going to be annoying to kids in 100 years?
What?
Blockchain.
Blockchain. There you go.
Right now, people go, blockchain.
So cool. And 100 years from now...
Non-fungible tokens.
I
People
didn't-
are like, they're freaking out about like all the future, the possibilities of blockchain, what you can do.
Right.
In the future, people will be discussing how, here's how we secure it with our blockchain technology.
And all the young people are going to
kids
go,
are going to be like, oh, eat a bag of marbles.
Doritos. That was a perfect save.
Yeah.
We these terms, you're right, are going to become uncool. And today I thought we could come up with like alternates to them. So like instead of supply chain, which essentially just means like stuff.
Before you continue, though, I want my friend Zach has found the clubhouse.
He has?
That we have not yet got. We haven't.
Zach,
we haven't
you're in the
figured
room.
out the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a friend.
But a friend who knows one of us. That's how they found the clubhouse room before we could promote it. So Zach's
exciting.
getting a sneak peek early.
He's getting a preview of the
early preview
riveting Suez Canal
of the
Biofriendly
Suez Canal episode of the Biofriendly podcast. So
No, we're going to make it
welcome,
fun.
Zach. If you have any questions or concerns,
You can raise your hand.
You can raise your hand, and then
We can have you speak.
And then otherwise, enjoy the listening. Yeah, if those of you who don't know, you can see Zach actually has written an article for us on the Biofriendly Planet.
He has, and it's a great one.
It's an awesome one.
I haven't read it yet, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
What are you
That was a
talking
joke.
about? Seriously?
It's fantastic.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so hopefully we'll be getting Zach to do a little bit more writing, but we're still trying to organize that there Biofriendly Planet. There's a lot of stuff happening over there. That's slowing things down, but you'll be seeing more from Zach, we hope.
It's determined. He's determining whether or not he's going to write again for us based on this Clubhouse broadcast, and we're off to a bad start.
Yeah. Oh, he raised his hand. Let's let Zach. Well, let's try it. Let's test.
This is the
see if
perfect time to
Clubhouse
test.
works.
Okay, so you should be able to hear his voice. Here, we'll let him speak.
I will talk. I will speak anywhere that I can speak.
Yay!
Do we have to hold him close to a microphone
Maybe I
so
should
people
pick
can
up the
can
iPad
see
so
us,
that they can
us?
hear our guest. Zach is
You,
talking.
ladies and gentlemen, you are experiencing Clubhouse live Biofriendly podcast in action with our first ever guest from Clubhouse speaking. Hey, Zach, how you doing?
Are you actually recording the podcast right now?
Absolutely. This is going. This is going in, man. No cuts, no edits.
All right.
Yeah.
So you.
I'm not leaving.
Yeah, good. we don't want you to leave.
Yeah. Did you have a question, or did you just want to pop in and say heyo?
No, I'm just, I'm a privileged white man, and if I'm allowed to speak, I absolutely take over any venue that I can.
Good grief. Perfect.
That fits your column on Biofriendly Planet really well. He's a social sustainability, ladies and gentlemen.
Social sustainability.
What Zach covers. That's hilarious.
That's good.
Yeah.
And we have another person who joined the room as well. So it looks like Clubhouse is off to a
Clubhouse is flying.
It's flying right now, guys.
All right. Well, Zach, we'll continue on with the show, and if you have anything else, if you have any questions during the time, let us know. And we have Matt on as well. So Matt, if you want to ask any questions as it goes on, then depending upon whether or not Elise thinks that it's good timing, you might get to ask that question.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if she doesn't, then you don't.
Then you're booted.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do.
Move myself on down to the. Well, no, I'll just mute myself, and I'll just
Okay.
Ask me questions. I'll chime back in, but I will mute myself and let you go on with the podcast, which I will listen to, and then say something intelligent if I have to.
I love it.
Thank you, Zach.
I love it.
Awesome.
Well, we're going to talk about the Suez Canal just as a tipping off point.
Tipping off point.
That's why we chose it, is that if you've been following the news, or even if you haven't, we'll kind of give you this brief summation of something that happened over the last week, which is this giant ship got stuck in the Suez Canal.
Yes, sideways. It was hilarious.
Sideways, and
not really hilarious for the world, but hilarious in the if it wasn't so awful for everybody, it would be hilarious.
And it's I'm Jacob Givens, and the ship is called the Ever Given, and there's no relation.
There's no relation.
I'm not related to that ship.
It's not your cousin?
No, it's not my cousin.
Oh, good to know.
But this ship is huge.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest ships in the world.
It's 1,312 feet. It's almost the size of the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
It's a quarter mile.
That's how it gets stuck when it floats sideways in the Suez Canal. Because the ships are getting bigger, and the canal's the same size as it was 200 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah,
not 200, but 150 years ago.
It's a while ago. And the thing about the ship and the Suez Canal, which, I mean, I'm not somebody who on a regular basis is like, what's going on in the Suez Canal?
Yeah.
But I saw somebody make a graphic of the Suez Canal, which connects the Mediterranean and the Red Sea.
Correct.
Right? Yes.
Wow.
Hey,
Jacob.
Not even looking at my cheat sheets.
Geography hero. Wow.
But there's this one portion that it shrinks down to about like 975 feet or something like that, just under 1,000 feet wide.
Right.
It is so narrow.
Which you'd think would be enough if you've got ships going back and forth. It's like that's actually quite a lot of feet.
It is a lot of feet.
You know, I mean, that's 3 football fields, 3.5 football fields wide.
Thank you.
Think
Thank you for that.
That should be enough.
It should be enough.
As particularly as they'll hail it like when you're going up a hill and one of the lanes is closed, and then they have like half the traffic go one way, then half the traffic go. That's how they handle that stretch of the Suez Canal. They do one. So you figure I've got room
Right.
There's 900 and there's almost 1,000 feet of space.
There's almost
here.
1,000 feet. I can get by.
But the ships keep getting bigger because they want to take more oil and more cargo.
And more stuff.
And why do they want to take more stuff, Jacob?
Because we're buying stuff all over the world and we're clicking buttons and we're saying, I want it now.
Because we've globalized the supply chain.
We've globalized the supply chain. The most boring way to express it ever. We've gotten Earth happy with our stuff.
Yes.
I don't know what that means,
good.
but I'm just trying to make it more regular. Yes, the corporate term would be globalization, but it's just that we can now. The world has gotten smaller. We can now order things from anywhere at any time, whenever we want.
You and I have not gotten smaller.
No, I've gotten bigger.
Yes.
Since March of 2020.
We're trying to work on it,
specifically.
to exercise and stay fit and stay healthy.
Exactly.
But we probably wouldn't fit through the Suez Canal.
No, not at the same time. That's for sure.
Not if we were
You
both
go
swimming.
in the morning, I'll go in the evening.
Yeah, that's good.
But they. So the ship, the story behind it was trapped there for 6 days, I think.
Yeah.
And it turned sideways, and if you've seen pictures of it, it's crazy because it totally blocks this passageway. And at first they were like, "Look, it wasn't our fault. It was winds. It was currents. It was we got turned sideways." But now there's like an investigation, and they're saying, "Nah, we think this was human error. We think that." Quite possibly,
The
the
guy
people
on
on
the
the
ship
ship
was like,
was
it was the wind.
I swear it was the wind.
I didn't do this.
5 minutes before, he was like, "You guys want to see me zigzag my way through the Suez Canal?" Uh-oh. No. So it was there for 6 days, and everybody who's listening might be going like, well, why does that matter to me? Well, it matters because it stopped hundreds of ships from getting through, which could be your coffee that you ordered from Amazon.
So something that might make be easier to understand is you think of the Panama Canal, right? Mm-hmm. So if you look at North and South America and how it basically blocks the entire planet the whole way from the top to the bottom, almost, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to get through, in the old days, if you wanted to get around these continents, you had to go all the way down below South America.
Right.
Now that's a tremendously long trip to have to go all the way down. Like if you have something in New York and you would like to, by sea, get it over to California, you have to go all the way down to practically Antarctica.
Ridiculous.
And back up. Okay.
Preposterous.
So the Panama Canal makes it so that you only have to go down to Central America, which is really not that far.
Yeah.
Right? It's right in the middle. And then you just zip right across and you can move stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why they made it.
Yeah.
So the Suez Canal is just as important and cuts off just as much space because the Suez Canal enables you to go from Asia through into Europe without having to go all the way down below Africa, which also goes very down low to the bottom, not quite as far as South America, but very far down there to the bottom of the planet. Right. So it's just these little canals, they seem like they're, it's just a cut of, cut of water in the middle of
why do I care?
But who cares? But it saves you weeks of travel.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of carbon emissions. And they're pretty tremendous things.
Yeah.
So when it gets plugged, we say plugged in my house, by the way.
Okay.
There's something that my wife does that makes me laugh is she'll take two words that are real words and then forget which one she's going to say and then put them together into one word that actually kind of works.
I love it.
So it's not plugged and it's not clogged, it's plugged.
Yeah.
She actually didn't do that one. My son did that one, but he got the skill from his mother.
I love it.
Yeah. So
that's fantastic.
So it's a plugged canal.
They do that in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Captain Holt says Bing Pot.
Bing Pot. Oh my gosh. When he Bing Pots, do you ever watch Brooklyn? Oh my gosh.
I'm a new arrival to the Brooklyn Nine-Nine universe, but he's my favorite character.
Jackpot and bingo together.
Yeah.
Bing Pot.
Bing Pot. Anyway, so it's a perfect example of that, combining the words.
Yeah.
But the Suez Canal doesn't get as much attention because Van Halen didn't write a song about it.
That's true.
Like Panama. Right. If they had been like Suez Canal, it just didn't have a good ring.
Not quite the same. Doesn't have the syllables.
Suez. Burr, 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 burr. You remember that amazing Van Halen song, Suez? Anyway, so it doesn't get as much press.
Suez would be a love song.
It would be. Yeah. It would be slower.
Suez. What do you mean?
Let's write a ballad to the Suez Canal.
You're so great inside.
It'll be a hit.
You're so great outside. You're so great when you're not around.
It'll be such a hit.
The Suez Canal.
It will be great, and it'll be like in Egypt. We will blow up. We will be great.
It'll be huge.
Yeah, but so the ship got caught.
Oh yeah,
it
we're
got
doing a podcast.
But that was really nice, though. That felt like just you and I hanging out having coffee.
Yeah.
But the ship got caught, and it's now freed. It got freed on Monday, so I think I got freed, just yesterday or something. But it was stuck for 6 days, and so this opened up the topic, and why we're talking about this is what does this mean in terms of globalization, being able to buy things immediately, because you'll also hear the buzz term of buy locally, right? Like eat locally, shop locally, buy locally, and how important that is to the environment.
Support local.
So
we talk about it constantly.
we
here.
do. We've talked about it tons of times. And when you go to, green meetings and green conferences, that's like a huge buzzword. It's just like local. We got to localize.
Right.
And so on the majority of kind of the environmental based stuff, that's the push. Let's get it there. But while I was looking this up, I did find this one article, and I don't know if they've got a tilt. I don't know what they're if they have an agenda. Usually, most things out there do have an agenda.
I don't.
But it was talking about how there are some cons to getting everything global. I mean, getting everything back to local.
Right.
There were cons to it.
Okay.
And so I was going to bring some of those up.
Let's do it.
Okay. So,
I can think of a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to share mine, or
No,
do you
yeah, you do yours.
Okay. I'm gonna read a little bit what this says. So it's from a website called The Conversation.
Okay.
I don't know what their stance is, but anyway. So it says, but in fact, deglobalization, which is that boring buzzword, as in no longer able to hit that Amazon button or that shopping button and get something halfway around the world immediately. You have to buy local.
Right.
So if we were to do that, may not necessarily translate into reduced emissions of harmful gases such as CO2, SO2, NO2, but could actually worsen it. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Through what's known as the technique effect. We know globalization can trigger environmentally friendly technological innovations that can be transferred from countries with strict environmental regulations to pollution havens. Mm-hmm. So they're saying if we are global, then everybody can gain technology and practices and regulations that are helping everybody. But the moment we start closing those doors, there might be some people that start doing their own thing.
Right.
And that could cause some problems. So it says globalization just doesn't entail the movement of manufactured goods, but also the transfer of immediate capital goods and technologies. So this means multinational corporations with clean, state-of-the-art technologies can transfer their green know-how to countries with low environmental standards. I don't want to read a bunch here.
Well, sure.
But
I mean, this is they're talking business.
They're talking business.
They're speaking business.
It's business
over there.
jargon. Well, yeah.
President business.
Can we come up with a better term for supply chain? Can we call it stuff river?
The chain of supply.
Things waterfall? Anyway.
Okay, no.
To your point.
So that was kind of something I that was similar to what I would have talked about.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that there's I still believe that in general, if you're trying to do things locally and you're trying to use what you have locally, you're going to be better off than grabbing something from way across the world. Yeah. Particularly if it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Now that's where I think the biggest problem. That's where we have the biggest problem now, and I can get into that a little bit later. But what I like about what they said and what's true is let's take batteries as an example, right?
Perfect example.
So if if the right battery, if the most efficient battery, like if we could actually pull this battery problem off and have a battery that is incredibly small and incredibly dense and can just run forever, and hold tons of energy, right? Yeah. If you have that, and there are certain components that make that up, then it is better to get those components and build the battery out of that stuff so that you can have the battery that lasts forever, right?
Sure.
Than it would be to then cobble together a battery from what you have locally and make a crummy battery that means that you now have to burn a lot more fuel all right. So it's like you can cause problems by making something poorly because you don't have what you need to make the right thing. Yeah. Locally, right? Right. And when that happens, it's good to get the right stuff from where you have the stuff in order to make the correct thing to solve the problem, right? Right. So in that aspect, I totally agree. Also, trading stops war. Yeah. That's a really big point that people kind of forget. If we're all trading with one another, then it suddenly becomes a worse idea. Like one of the reasons that it's unlikely there's going to be a war between China and the US soon is because we trade so much. Yeah. Because if China goes and destroys the United States, then their economy's gone. Right. right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we buy all the stuff. So there's no reason, they don't want to blow us up because we're giving them money.
Right.
See?
Yeah, you're right.
So trade actually keeps it, if everybody's trading with one another and we're all sharing stuff back and forth and we're buying things and selling things and moving it all around, well, then we're not going to really want to fight with each other because we're working with each other.
Yeah.
It's like you don't get into a fight with a neighbor you like because you talk to your neighbor.
Right. You want
Right?
to borrow some sugar.
Yeah. So it's the same concept. It's just globalized.
Globalized.
Right. So that's another reason why it's good to keep doing this and to keep trading.
Yeah.
But where I think you get a problem is people don't make nails in America right now.
Really?
Really. So like if you get a nail, you're getting it from China.
Right, because nobody here is making nails.
Because we're not making nails.
Wow.
So we have the materials and the know-how and the people necessary to make nails.
So there's a demand for a nail company in the United States?
No, there isn't because they're so cheap overseas that people don't want it, right? I mean, there should be.
My nail business is going under.
No, I mean, I think you could market a nail business if you said it was American nails. American nails. And that's not true. But there are people making it. It's just
right.
that there's very few as compared to what it used to be.
Right.
So the problem with that is now we're spending a whole lot of like emissions capital, if you will, right? So we're shipping nails from China. So now you make it in a factory way over there because they have less regulation on what they do with their emissions, and because they are growing so fast, they're burning a lot more coal. Even though they spend a lot on renewables in China too, to their credit.
Yeah.
But they've increased. I mean, they have to increase their coal capacity because they can't make enough energy to do all the production that they have there. Because all of our production that was once here is mostly over there.
Right.
And that was done through good old fashioned capitalism.
Right.
Like let's find the cheapest way to make a nail.
Right.
That's what is the least expensive way that I can make a nail to sell to Home Depot. And they've discovered that if we have labor that costs very little money over there because they don't have minimum wages and they don't care what they do to their workers, frankly, that they can get it for less and then have it sent back over here, right? And so that's disastrous for a lot of reasons, not just for emissions reasons, but humanitarian reasons. Because you don't really want to have factories that are filled with people who don't get paid enough money
Exactly.
to have a nice life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is to me why globalization has gone too far. Like we've pushed it too far and we've caused ourselves a problem we shouldn't have.
Right.
And the Suez Canal is just kind of a really wonderful reminder that this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be a little delay on this. People are going to be wondering, why is it taking this long? Like something that someone will order in a week.
Yeah.
They'll be like, how come I'm supposed to have this in 2 days?
Yeah.
And it's taken them 3 weeks to get this to me.
Yeah.
And they'll say Suez Canal. Like, Suez Canal was weeks ago. It's like, no. They planned on having this stuff in the warehouse 4 weeks ago, and it's not there because it was trapped in the Suez Canal for this meeting. So that's how it will affect people in the future.
Yeah. They have this model now called just in time. Which is...
I know Justin.
Yeah, you know Justin Time? He's a good dude. It comes from the Time family.
Yeah.
So they have this idea of just in time, which is they used to have warehouses full of the things that you wanted to buy. And they had them at the ready. But now they're like, well, that doesn't make much sense. We should just, when the demand comes, I can fulfill it just in time. And that's the global idea, right? Which is like I click a button and it can be made to order right away. So we don't have to have this back order of a bunch of stuff.
Right.
But that's the problem of we're zipping stuff, giant stuff up and down the Suez Canal that could cause these blockages. And then, we've changed our expectation as to how quickly we can get stuff.
Yes.
It's really, really funny.
Prime, 2 days.
Yeah.
Unless you do the special version, then you get it that day.
Yeah, exactly. and our patience has worn out thin very fast. Like you used to order something, and, oh no, I'm dropping my computer. You used to order something and you would be like, oh, it's fine. It'll be here, in the next couple weeks. It doesn't matter. But now because of the promise, the pledge of you'll get it in 2 days, if it's a little bit late, you're like, the whole system is broken. I can't. I wanted this grout cleaner solution by Wednesday, and it's Friday. It's just, so we get it. One, we should all chill out.
Yeah.
Everybody,
well, that's step one.
Step one.
Step one.
Chill out.
Chill out.
Chill out.
That's good.
Yeah. Step one. Chill out.
I like that. That's
worthy of adding.
Potentially memorable. We'll see.
I'll tell you what. If we find it at the end, then we got it.
Step 1, chill out.
Yeah. But the go ahead.
What's step 2?
Step two is
Change your pants.
change your pants. No, I think that you're right that like most topics we cover on the show, it's rarely a one or the other thing, right?
Right.
And that's the thing is that if you say shop locally, eat locally, those things are important and we need to encourage it. But there is the benefit of trading with other countries.
Yeah.
That's crucial.
Right.
So it can't be this one or the other idea.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to remember.
Yes.
You have to have both.
I think we just fixed everything.
We solved it like we usually
solved
do on the
another one.
Biofriendly podcast. We solved another
We did it.
issue.
We did it.
No, but you want to know what helped free the ship? I thought this was kind of cool.
Yeah, what?
The moon.
Because the tide changed and you got more water in there.
Isn't that kind of neat? That there was this huge economic
that's-
problem. The ship is stuck, and then the moon becomes full, and the tides, they rise, and it gets that ship out of there. So the moon helped move that ship. That's
See?
kind of special,
It is special.
right?
See? So let's not blow up the moon. I know a lot of people want to.
That's next week on the Biofriendly podcast. Do not blow up the moon. Step
know.
1, chill out. Step 2, do not blow up the moon.
Blow up the moon.
We need the moon.
We really we'll miss it.
We need it.
If it's
We
gone.
need it, yeah.
Yeah, no, tides are cool. The way that, you think this
Absolutely.
this celestial body outside swinging around our planet moves our water around.
It's so awesome.
It's rad.
It's so awesome. But that's and so I only brought up the con point because I read somebody here is using these big corporate jargon to say, no, we can't just do, deglobalization because that can be bad. We can't take it all away. And they're right that it can't be one or the other.
Right.
It has to be.
Well, we don't want to go too far one way or the other.
Absolutely.
I mean, look, it's a good thing that we're trading more. It's a good thing that we've improved the economy in China, as much as that drives some people, I think, crazy because the jobs are gone. But it is good. It is good to help because China, for a while there, was
struggling,
like developing nations, sort of like having trouble, right? I mean, and now they're booming. Every country around the world should be able to have first world technology, should be able to have, the ability to have a successful business and life and make money wherever you are, all over this planet. We should all be sharing goods and culture and everything with each other. That's the way. That's the way the planet should work.
That's the way we heal the world.
Yeah. I mean, we're not there, but
far from it.
That's a good thing.
Right.
But at the same time, you really, I mean, the things that can be made here should mostly be made here and bought here.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be some clever stuff they come up with in other parts of the world, right?
Yeah.
You find out that New Zealand's got a brand new guitar. It's just the best.
Right.
You can only make there.
If you're going to write the Suez Canal
if you're
song.
going to rate, if Van Halen 2, I miss
Van Halen 2. 2.0.
But there's no more Van Halen.
There's no more Van Halen. I know.
I'm sad.
That was our bummer run.
Let's end this on a sad note.
No, I was going to say, yes, exactly. Because the example that was further in this article, I won't go read it. It was talking about Iran and how they have regulations on how they can get their oil and how they can import and export things. They have all these regulations. So they make their own, they refine their own.
Right.
And it's full of pollutants and it's full of all these problems and chemicals and things that are harmful for the environment. That was the example. And so
it's really hard to do. It's really hard to refine that sludgy black oil into something that you can use.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a process. And so the idea being sharing technologies and ideas and helpful regulations and things around the world is we want that. We want that to continue.
Yes.
But this idea of I'm going to get some nails, we need to find a way to get it to where I'm getting it here.
Right.
And that's what we got to get back to.
And then we need to figure globally, how can we have a relationship with places like North Korea and...
Right.
Is it Iran or Iran? I thought it was Iran. Is it Iran?
Did I say Iran?
Yeah.
I'm from Oklahoma, dude.
Okay. That's true. Good
I say tons of things wrong.
Yeah. Unless I said it wrong.
No, is it
But
Iran?
I think it's Iran and Iraq. Yeah.
Okay, so when I was a kid, you were like, Iran.
Right.
I ran so far away.
Yes.
Look, man, we say things like W.
Yeah.
We say lots of words wrong. So you're probably right. It's probably Iran.
I think so. Yeah. But if I'm, but someone, call in.
Call in.
Raise
now.
your hand. Where's
Raise
that?
your
Zach
hand.
left. God.
Zach was like, that was the last
Zach's
straw.
like, well, I've
was he
had it.
heard me say Iran?
I've had
And he
it.
was like, well,
He's out.
I'm running out of here right now.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh, well.
That's fine. So hey, one of these days, by the way, I should finish the point.
Finish your point.
So
Finish your point.
places like North Korea and Iran, places that are that we don't like, quote unquote, because they're going to make nuclear bombs and kill us all.
Right.
What we should be trying to do is working out the relationships with these countries so that we do trade with them, so that we do share with them, so that they don't hate us and we don't hate them, and they can have nuclear technology because they can use it for good things like creating emissions-free power. Right. Like there's a lot of Einstein didn't come up with equations to get nuclear energy because he wanted to blow up the world. Right. It was because this is a chance to create abundant energy with very little effort, and that would last for a very long time and create no emissions, right? So like that's the thought, is and that we should be doing. We should be sharing that, but we'd be peaceful with each other if we weren't always just trying to dominate all the time. Yeah. So let's just let's hold hands and sing.
Step one.
Chill out. Yeah.
Everybody needs to chill out, right, Elise?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
She agrees.
That's
all I think.
Because it's agreeable. It's an agreeable step one. Chill out.
Yes. It's an agreeable one. Well, that was it.
Did we do it? We solved it.
I think we solved it, and I think it was one of those topics. Look, when I was even thinking we should do about the boat, you go. Okay, well, that's a flash in the pan news story that's here, and then 3 months from now, nobody even remembers. We move on, right? It's just it doesn't mean anything. So I wanted to bring it up more as this boring topic about supply chains and globalizations. It's on the level of our listeners. It's how we buy things. It's how we get stuff. Yeah. And that's our relationship with other countries. That's the topic here.
That's it.
It's how we buy stuff. Yeah. So chill out.
It's where your supply comes from. What is it? How is it made? It's where is it manufactured? Where's that stuff? Or so where are you getting your supplies? Where are you turning them into a thing? How are you getting that thing to where you are? That's the supply chain.
That's the supply chain. And so it's just for our audience, what can you do? What can you? It's all about, okay, you're going to be buying things. You're going to be eating food. It's important to consider the source, where it's coming from time to time. I'm not saying you have to stop and every single thing you order, if it says it's coming from China or from halfway around the world, that you can't get that thing. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it is important every now and then to stop and say, well, is there a way that I can support, not only my state, my city, or my country with the things that are made here? Can I help it out a little bit? Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Just somewhat.
Let's put it in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Let's put this in the kitchen.
Yes.
So this is going to be my best attempt to explain supply chain and how this
do it.
varies.
I love these analogies that you're.
Okay.
Give me a Noel analogy.
We go to the restaurant, and you want spaghetti with meatballs.
I do.
That's all you want.
Sounds great.
You just want spaghetti with meatballs. Okay. Yeah. So, like you would expect that the supply chain is we have a cook in the kitchen, right, who has received tomatoes. Yeah. Well, that's actually at that point probably tomato sauce already. I don't know, but tomatoes, wheat for flour to make some pasta noodles, some garlic, some other fantastic spices, butter, meat for the meatballs. Yes. And perhaps an oven that they can cook it with, or in a stove for all the stuff, right? So you think that all right, this chef is gonna get this stuff probably from a farm that's fairly close, that's made the wheat to get the flour, that has the tomatoes they can turn to the sauce, that has the spices, right? Okay, so that you would think that the supply chain would be pretty local. They get all that stuff somewhere nearby because then it's fresh, and then the part of the supply chain, then we get that to the chef, who then puts it together, turns it into a spaghetti with meatballs, and then they give it to a waiter who then walks it over and hands it to you, and then you get to eat your food. And that's the supply chain of your spaghetti and meatballs.
I'm salivating. I can't wait to have this meal.
Now, here's what we're doing today.
Okay.
We're saying, okay, so we need to get this thing more inexpensively, we do it more cheaply. Yeah. So they're they're growing the tomatoes in Iran.
Okay. In Iran?
Yes, in Iran. because there they are willing to grow tomatoes for less money, and whatever, it's cheaper, they can get it.
Cheaper, easier, you can get them.
And then they're putting them in a storage system so that they can keep them in good shape,
right.
so that they can then be shipped from Iran through the Suez Canal.
Okay.
That's right, folks. They would have to go through the Suez Canal.
They would?
Yes, all the way across the ocean,
right.
Into to New York, where they'd be then put on a truck and then still put in a refrigerated truck, which is also creating carbon emissions. It drives that tomato across the country to to the restaurant, to the chef, who then takes the tomato and works the tomato, and let's suppose then the garlic comes from Egypt, and the meatballs come from the
Canada.
Sudan.
Oh wait, no, that's on our continent.
And they're so and they're right, and now all these things have been sent from all over the place to make it. And what's even better? Let's take them all and let's send them to Switzerland to then have the spaghetti and meatballs made there by the chef, because that's a better chef, and then have that shipped all the way back to us.
That happens.
That happened.
There was literally a story about how fish that were caught here were brought over to this country to be sliced up and then sent back.
And then sent back. Yes, this is how we do things right now. This is not this is how we do it now. Right. This is our current supply chain. For your spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
So now if you want to get a Kobe beef steak, then you need to get the Kobe beef. You need to get it from where they make the Kobe. It's only one place in the world, in Japan, where you can get
Kobe beef.
The beef.
Yeah.
So when that happens, it's okay to say, okay, this is a specialty thing. This is a thing that doesn't exist anywhere else. If you want it here, you have to ship it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And you will pay for that.
You'll pay for it. There's a premium.
You will pay the money to have that done.
Yeah.
That's good. That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Right.
But for spaghetti and meatballs, you can grow tomatoes in California.
Yeah. It's all around you. You
can make garlic here.
Wheat.
You can do it all right here.
It's all right here.
So you may as well just do it here. And then if the best chef's in Switzerland, then have that chef train somebody and move them out here so that you can do it here.
That's what we're saying.
This is what we're talking about.
We're saying
doesn't mean we don't want the great things that are only in one place or another place.
Right.
In fact, you can export people. Go to Japan and have a Kobe beef fresh on the spot.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know. Now we're in a
No, you did it. Yeah. I got you there. I riled him up.
That's my restaurant version. I'm getting riled up on it. Why am I getting riled up on this? I don't understand.
I love it. It's passion. Passion. He's telling, but it's a perfect analogy as to what we're saying.
When we talk about spaghetti and meatballs, I just lose it.
You lose it. He goes crazy every time he talks about spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah. No, you were giving a good analogy that everybody can kind of take home and put in their pocket and go, okay, I get it. Yeah. I get it. I can still get the things that I like and I want and I need quickly, sure. Yeah. But consider when you get your spaghetti and meatballs where it's coming from, and it might be better to find somebody out there is going to give it to you from here. Yeah. So consider that. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. That's all we're asking.
See if that option works for you.
Exactly. Yeah. And that has been the Biofriendly podcast this week. We are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Carefully avoiding neonicotinoids.
The Siegfried and Roy of podcasts.
This show blows. What's it?
This show's a joke.
This show's a joke.
Oh gosh, that was the best ever.
This show's a joke.
This show's a joke.
This show blows, man.
Yeah. And then the next one, which we did not forget, is never believe.
Never believe. And then it's step 1. Chill out.
There it is. She got it. She took us there. That was a fantastic
podcast. I want to thank
you for
Matt and Zach for both stepping in for at least a moment.
Yeah,
and then giving up on us, which is
which is fine. Which is fine.
Lives.
Well, we will once we build this clubhouse thing and we have the actual club room and we can easily people can find.
That's the thing. We found out that you have to do a clubhouse 3 times. To have a club room link that you can then send to people. Yeah. So that but we don't know if the first one counted because we don't know if we set it up the same way or not.
Yeah, exactly.
But next time, tomorrow, we're going to set it the same way. We'll do it. So hopefully we'll have a club room by tomorrow. If not,
hopefully after tomorrow, then we'll get this down.
We'll get it down and then we'll tell you how to find us. Yeah. And then you can actually join in and ask questions live.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. Cheerio.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.